Hello, Next.js devs. I'm representing BigCommerce here today at Next Conference 2020. Super excited to show you what we've been building in partnership with Vercel. Today, we are going to talk about what is the next big thing in e-commerce. This is going to be a fully integrated headless e-com experience using Next and Vercel plus BigCommerce. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get started. So first, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Ray. I'm a developer advocate here at BigCommerce, and I love learning and I love to code. Previously, I was a teacher, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you today about the next big thing in e-commerce, which is our Next.js application that is completely geared towards headless e-commerce. And just so you are aware, today, this week, and in the following months, I'm going to be creating a bunch of content around Next.js and this starter application. So if you can, and if you want to, go and connect with me on Twitter or LinkedIn. You can see it here on the slide. And also connect with BigCommerce devs on Twitter. And this will give you the latest in BigCommerce news. And don't forget to follow the conference today using that hashtag Next.js So you may not have heard about BigCommerce, and that's okay. We are an e-commerce platform, and we were established in 2009. We have merchants, partners, developers, shoppers all around the globe. And our mission is to be the open SaaS platform for e-commerce and cross-channel commerce in general. We do this by being API first and API minded. And we take those APIs to innovate our headless architecture and integrations. And we think big. We want to build dynamic shopping experiences, and we want to empower merchants and shoppers to have a better shopping experience. So you might have just heard me say before that we are an open SaaS platform, and you're questioning what is open SaaS. This is a new industry term, and it's really defining how we develop. And it really is defining that spectrum of openness. So on one side of the spectrum, you have open source, which gives you full control as a developer. And you can own that developer responsibility. However, that has some downsides, right? That means you also own hosting, you own maintenance, you own everything inside the platform, from bug fixes to site crashes. And then on the other side of that spectrum, you have a fully cloud-based SaaS, and that has its own benefits. You know, you can limit your maintenance and hosting costs, but you're boxed in by not being able to fully implement maybe what you want to, and you don't have as much discretionary use. So this is where BigCommerce comes in. We are in the middle. We are open SaaS, and that means that we have APIs, SDKs, and toolkits, and then solutions that just work with your team. And this also gives you that flexibility to choose what you want to implement without all the costs of open source. So talking about open SaaS and getting into headless, we really are looking to enable developers to build headless solutions and power that commerce wherever the shoppers are. Earlier in Belle's keynote, she really highlighted that there are a lot of issues with a traditional monolith. They lack flexibility, they are, notoriously difficult to implement, take a lot of time, But we can really flip this architectural model right on its head. And that will give you so much greater flexibility because you can separate your application's concerns and use that Jamstack model. You can also decouple your front end from your back end and become completely API driven. You've never had this type of control in e-commerce before, and that's what we're trying to bring to you as BigCommerce. You also have complete control over your storefront experience, which is also revolutionary. This allows you to focus on what you love to build, which is the user experience, the server-side rendered, revenue-generating e-commerce sites. So this slide actually shows how headless is implemented on BigCommerce. And we utilize an omni-channel selling method to create headless applications, native mobile applications, and we utilize marketplace integrations, and there's so much more that can be possible. Our storefront APIs are all powered by GraphQL, and developers can pull data from our e-commerce engine like products, inventory, order management, and we can even orchestrate the purchasing process. Some examples of headless that have been built using this platform are Jamstack websites, progressive web apps, mobile apps, marketplace integrations with Amazon and Google and others, as well as social channels like Instagram, Facebook, and we can also just implement even more as long as partners are looking to do a microservices type architecture where they embed us in as part of their platform. So we really want to give you the power and the creative freedom to build a solution your way. You need to handpick your technologies to reduce both development time and improve your site's performance, and we understand that. You can leverage your favorite framework like Next.js and its latest features to create those innovative user experiences that differentiate you and your development team from everyone else. And you can develop anything from mobile to web, and maybe you'll even disrupt this market because you'll create something completely new. The best part is that headless applications are growing in e-commerce, and they're just going to continue to do so. The developer-first approach in e-commerce is here to stay, and the momentum is building fast. And according to Gartner, 80% of digital experiences will be platforms that are deployed via headless by 2022. And we want to enable you to develop solutions where the shoppers are today, but most importantly, where they're going to be tomorrow. So BigCommerce has worked with brands like Burrow, Lark, and Swift to power their headless sites. BigCommerce sees the future of e-commerce as headless, collaborative, and consistently raising the bar for shopping experiences. Next.js has some amazing merchants too, and let's go see what they've been working on. So from the Next.js platform here, we can see that the headless trend is just growing outside of e-com into Next.js because they have brands already like Ticketmaster, Realtor.com, and Deliveroo. And we're inspired by what these development teams have built so far and what the future of headless holds for Next.js. At BigCommerce, we understand the power of headless, and we understand that it's not always easy. For a dev team, there can be a lot of heavy lift. You have to figure a whole lot of things out on your own. You have to manage multiple data streams. you have to really take on that learning curve of e-commerce. And there's a lot of iterating before you get it right. And BigCommerce makes that easier. With using BigCommerce, we're going to enable developers and teams to focus on launching new features, leveraging the BigCommerce open SaaS platform. Which is why we're excited to present the Next.js BigCommerce headless storefront app. Next.commerce is a BigCommerce, Next, and Vercel trifecta. And you get BigCommerce, the continuous innovator in e-commerce. And we're always looking to meet the needs of our partners. So we've partnered with Next to enable this application and create the best developer experience. We've also partnered with Vercel and their team to create the most collaborative solution for teams, enabling better business practices because you'll be able to do so much more with the Vercel platform. And this combination really means that you get reliability and support from BigCommerce, better enabled development teams, blazing fast edge network in collaboration with Vercel. And we really want to empower you as well to contribute and grow this e-commerce platform. And we want to gain your expertise from the community at Next, as well as the community at BigCommerce. Developers like you are what is going to contribute to the growth of headless e-commerce the most. So let's take a look at this app in action. Shoppers experience beautiful, modern user experience with an easy to navigate user interface. And BC powers the GraphQL storefront, which is what's showing these products. And we also power the React data hooks that are really inside of these components and is what is powering that data that's pushed to the components. Developers experience the benefits of Next and Vercel. And we're going to continue to update. This is only the beginning. The partnership means way more to us than a starter application. We really want to raise the bar for e-commerce with Next and Vercel. BigCommerce is here to not only support that future development, but we're here to make the future of e-commerce immersive. And we're going to continue to contribute, support, and refine this application so that e-commerce can grow. So here, we're going to talk about some of the experience that you will get from using this application. You get the best in breed e-commerce experience using this Next and Vercel and BigCommerce platform. So some of the things that you love from BigCommerce are open SaaS APIs, PCI compliance, innovative new features in e-commerce. And then I actually took to Twitter to figure out what it is that you guys love from Next. I did this Twitter poll, and what we're going to see here is that you love the best in breed headless integrations that you get, not only in development from Next, but the ecosystem collaboration from Vercel. And your by far biggest thing that you loved was server-side rendering. But many of you commented in and said that you loved incremental static regeneration just as much. You also have custom paths, and coming soon, as like today, I believe Next Analytics is also going to be on a trajectory to become one of your favorite features. This application combines all of these great features to get you building an e-commerce site in minutes. So here you can see a high-level overview of the application's best features. And we're going to deep dive into each and every one of these right now. So we're going to talk about that Vercel deployment. We're going to talk about products and category search. We're going to talk about that product detail page or PDP, checkout, transactional emails, channels integration, internationalization, and optimized SEO. So we got a fun-packed event to keep going through. So with the Vercel team, we've actually created this perfect place to begin your Next.js application. And they've made it so simple to get started. Vercel is integrated with BigCommerce, and it's just going to allow you to deploy in one click. It's probably actually a few more clicks, but it's mostly because we need some information for your developer sandbox, but they've completely integrated that process, so there's no 2 sites to go to or anything like that. And voila, you're ready to start developing with Vercel, Next, and BigCommerce. And just to give a little bit more background on Vercel, like they're going to enable you and your team to be more collaborative with instant sharing of unique builds. And this is going to blend very seamlessly into your e-commerce process if you're not new to e-commerce. Your business ops can review and update via the BigCommerce control panel on things like products and variants, and look at orders and ship those things. So you can see that happening in the BigCommerce control panel, but then your dev team and your design team can also share builds with you right away, making it super clear what the future holds for your site. And you're always online using the Vercel Edge CDN. And with Next.js Analytics, you're just going to get so much insight into your user group and how they're using your application, and where your next iterations should focus to build that application and make it even better. So here we have the search page, and this is powered using BigCommerce APIs. So using GraphQL, you can actually power your front end. What is done here is the search component actually uses a BigCommerce REST API to gather the search results, but there is a transformation that happens and changes the data to GraphQL for the product search. So that way you can see the products in GraphQL. BigCommerce not only has the GraphQL playground for you to start learning and debugging this API, but we've established on developer.bigcommerce.com the GraphQL Explorer. And this is actually what's going to allow you to see the relationships between all the objects in the schema. And these tools should help you expand the functionality of search, creating a more customized solution. And you can also bring in your own search and do your own tooling and frameworking. It just depends on what your needs are. So here we have our product detail page, also referred to in ecom as PDP. This includes features like image optimization, which is going to lead to faster load times. It's going to reduce the overall image size, and it just uses the NPM package Next Optimized Images. You can see here that you have variants, and variants on a product are what allow you to choose things like sizes or colors or quantity, and there are many, many options for variants inside of BigCommerce. You can also see here that these components are using data hooks. So these data hooks are coming from the catalog, and this just means that your UI component has the BC data loaded into it without you having to configure that. And it gives the merchant some control, because if they go and update something in the control panel, it's going to be displayed to the front end on the next build. So they can go and manage how they want things to be displayed, and it really takes some lift off of the development team. So after a shopper finds what they want on that product detail page or in the main view, they need a way to purchase it. And BigCommerce offers a lot of various checkout solutions. And by far the easiest, and the one that's implemented in this app, is redirected checkout. And this allows a developer to send the shopper to BigCommerce to complete their purchase. And this is one of the biggest benefits of BigCommerce, in my opinion, because it really abstracts your team from a lot of the liabilities around PCI compliance and data compliance. And it'll just allow you to sleep like a baby, because you'll know that BigCommerce is taking this load on for you. And you don't have to worry about, people not being able to complete their purchases at 2 a.m. For teams that need more control of this user experience, though, we still have more options. And there are ways for you to keep the user inside your domain. And one of those ways is embedded checkout. So embedded checkout is our application, the same one they're being redirected to, but it allows you to put this in an iframe. And this still offers the same PCI and data compliance as redirected checkout. And if you're really brave and you want to own checkout all on your own, and you don't want to have to worry about BigCommerce, we still offer you tools to help you get started. So Open Checkout is actually our internal application that we've open sourced. It's a React application, so it will work really well with this one. And you can just manipulate it to do what you need. So it utilizes our checkout SDK under the hood, but all the methods and everything's implemented already for you. And it gives you that UI so you don't have to spend a ton of time trying to create a UI with the checkout SDK all on your own. It kind of wraps everything up in a nice little wrapper for you. And if you do end up manipulating the API gateways, or payment gateways, it's okay, but you just own that PCI compliance from that point forward. And our checkout SDK is all of our APIs that really power checkout and power payment. So this bundles them all for you into a package that you can implement. And this will allow you to create those 100% bespoke checkout solutions. And it'll make it so much less of a hurdle. So you can get the latest payment integrations that BigCommerce has to offer by using any of these checkout methods. We have more than 65 to choose from at this point. We serve 230 countries and more than 130 currencies. And we're always trying to implement more. So this is a great way for you to have a custom solution, but still not have to build everything yourself. All right, emails. Setting up emails is just a lot of tedious work. I don't like doing it. I'm sure that most of you have written more methods for email than you would even like to admit. So this app actually does all the transactional and abandoned cart emails without you having to do anything. This is completely automated by the BigCommerce cart and checkout, 0 config required. The team told me that this works with 0 configuration, and I didn't believe them until I tried it. And now I probably owe them some cookies, but this feature is totally worth it. So here we go, coming up to our channels. This is really what is allowing our platform to evolve and provide better service to more sophisticated e-commerce merchants. Channels and the channel manager provide a way to manage headless storefronts. Vercel's deployment process creates the Next.js storefront channel. And this separate application is really what allows you to manage your headless storefront. And you can manage the channels via API or through the BigCommerce control panel UI. And creating a channel is super, super simple. It's just a post to channels and a post to sites. And then you can create dynamic routes using BigCommerce and the routes endpoint with your site ID. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to take a little break from the presentation, pop over into Postman, and we're going to show you how to create a channel using Postman. All right, see you soon. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do here is we are actually going to create a channel. So all you need to do is go to this V3 channels endpoint, and you'll need your headers. You'll need a client ID and a token from the BigCommerce storefront, and you will paste a raw JSON body, and all of these examples are in our documentation. So you will need a type of storefront. The platform is custom. I've given this one a name of Next.js Conference, Rachael.com, US. And an external ID of United States. And this kind of just tells me where my channel is located in the world. So if I send this, I will see that I get back that channel with this channel ID. And I'm actually using a test script to save that channel ID to an environment variable, so I don't have to configure that into the next call. Love Postman for that. And I don't believe there's anything else you need to know here, so that's it. This is a basic channel, and this is what you get back from it. Next, we're going to create a site, and that requires that channel ID. So if we go to my environment variables, we would see it saved there. And I have this domain here, rayethompson.me. And this is where we will be hosting our site. So if I come here and I send, we can see that I get an ID of 1003. My URL is there, and it's connected to my channel ID. Super simple. And again, this is just on that site endpoint. We can get our sites back just by doing a simple GET request, and there's no body that's needed here, so we just click send, and we can see that by default your store will always have at least one site, but your channels can have multiple, so we have one here created. And lastly, we're going to create a route right now. So this is actually to the site's endpoint with a site ID and routes. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a product route. So you can create a route with a wildcard, and that means, just any product will do. This will pull all the products for that route. You can also make these very specific. So you can say, I want a route that just goes to product ID 10. And we can see here that when you send in that routes, you'll just get a 200 OK back that the route has been created. And now that you understand channels, sites, and routes, you can begin your internationalization journey. You can use a single channel with multiple locales, or you can create a channel per locale. And it really gives you this option for implementation that is best for your architectural pattern. And creating a channel that is configured for currencies and internationalization is very simple. It's a couple API calls. So we're going to pop back over to Postman, and I'm going to show you that process real quickly, and then we're going to get back over into this presentation and round out our day. Okay, now that we're back in Postman, if we just go to channels and we include currencies, we can get all of the channels that might include currencies. So if I send this, our default is our storefront channel, and this one is actually inactive, so I don't have anything there, and all of my other channels are also inactive, so they won't have any currencies currently. But if we go over here and we go to post and we make a post to the channel ID that is currently logged in our environment variable, we can go to currency assignments and we can assign it a currency. And so since this is my United States channel, I'm just going to include USD, but I could include others. So I could also include Canadian dollar, for instance. And my default is going to be the US dollar. So we're going to go ahead and click send there. And we can see that we get back a status of 200 OK. For our channel ID, the enabled currencies are US dollar and Canadian dollar. And we can also delete a channel site should you need to ever update a URL or change a domain. You can do that, but that is a manual process for you to do on your own. So I hope you've really enjoyed learning about our newest feature here, which is our currency assignments in our REST API. This is, really going to enable you to learn e-commerce internationalization and how you can best do this with your clients or with your own e-commerce applications. So the last thing I kind of want to go over is SEO. And SEO is so important in e-commerce. We know that if someone has to wait too long, it just increases the chance that they're not going to complete a purchase. And at the end of the day, e-commerce is about shoppers having the greatest experiences and buying things online. So this app has been optimized to reach top lighthouse scores. It implements lazy loading so that you can actually reach those top lighthouse scores. It has a skeleton CSS structure so that things can be loaded dynamically. And then it also is delivered from the Vercel Edge CDN, which is super fast and allows you to reach customers where they are. And it's blazing speeds all the time, anytime, because of that CDN and that framework, as well as all of the amazing Next.js features that just make your application so seamless. After all of this, I'm sure you're dying to get your hands on some code. I can't blame you because I am too. If you want to go to nextjs.org/commerce, you can get started with just those few clicks that I talked about. And I just want to kind of reiterate real quickly here that this partnership really means a lot to us, and we would sincerely appreciate your contributions and want to integrate your experiences into this application. So Next.js devs, welcome to the BigCommerce family. We want you to come join our community. I want you to join me and the dev advocate team. And we want to see you in our Slack, and we want to see you in our forums. So Next.js devs, I've had a great time. I'll be online doing Q&A here momentarily. So just to get you set up for success, if you can connect with BigCommerce developers, we will be connecting you with BigCommerce developers who are developers just like you and are here to help. And I'll be there too to help. We're an inclusive group, so we support you in whatever it is you're trying to build. And most of all, we just want to help you develop out of this world applications. So the Twitter handle, like I said, is @BigCommerceDevs. Our docs are at developer.bigcommerce.com. And you can join our community at support.bigcommerce.com. I just want to thank you again, Next.js devs and the teams at Next.js and Vercel. We did it. We have this great application and it's just waiting for you to contribute to. I can't wait to meet you all throughout the conference. So for now, bye.